time that kids only have to go to school
Good
part-time.
morning, everybody. This is Paul Romero with the Swiss Gold Global Independent. Let me plug my light in. Independent business owner, network marketing training number 110 on a beautiful Friday morning, Friday the 13th, my favorite Friday of the year. A lot of people are all scary. Ooh, Friday the 13th. Oh my God, what are we gonna do today? Oh, we gotta run and hide. Can't face the world. It's big and bad today. Extra scary. Uh, Friday the 13th. Hey, I wore number 13 on my football jersey in high school. It's a lucky number to me. I'm just weird, I guess, but you know what? I've been called worse. So anyway, Freedom Friday at the Swiss Gold Global Network Marketing Training number 110. What do you say there, John? How you doing out there driving around town with those fancy-looking shades on?
Oh, good morning, Paul. Yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of driving around town today. It's Freedom Friday and Friday the 13th. I mean, what gets better than those two things combined? I find that funny, and I wonder why it is and how it even developed, about the uncertainty and the unluckiness surrounding the number 13. You ever been in a high-rise building and you look in the elevator and you know they literally skip the 13th floor? I mean, what kind of superstitious crap is that? I wonder how that developed. So I'm actually going to Google that today. But right now we're here on the Swiss Gold Global Hangout, and you said number 110. Kind of another milestone. That's another decade added to our century of doing these hangouts, which is awesome. So for those of you who are joining us, as you know, if you've been here before, and if you don't know, I'll tell you, it's Freedom Friday, where Paul and I discuss network marketing, but specifically we get into talking about self-development, personal development, maybe business development, skills, personal skills as well as business skills that can be adopted into any business, really, whether you're in network marketing or not. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it back over to Paul to kind of get things kicked off. I'm going to be driving, but I'll certainly be available to interject some thoughts along the way. So take it from here, Paul.
Yeah, well, on Freedom Friday, we pretty much talk about whatever the heck we want because we have freedom to do that. So, yeah, freedom. I don't know. I didn't really have an outline for today, but I was kind of inspired by Jeff's call this morning, talking about habits, creating the good habits, the success habits of the habits of doing over the habits of not doing. And we all talk about the different bad habits that people have, but a lot of people don't really realize that a bad habit is that of a not doing habit as well too. You might be thinking, what do you mean a not doing habit? Well, I'm talking about sort of like the actions that you take in the course of your day to accomplish things. You could be looking at getting something done, but because of the way you think about things and how you feel about things, the action that you take is, of course, what's going to create your result. So if your action that you take is not taking an action, that's a not doing habit. Does that make sense to you? So if you have an objective to accomplish something, but because of your thought process and the way that you think about things, you might have this desire to get it done, but you also have this battling feeling of, well, I can do it tomorrow, or you know what, I'll get that done next week, and so you have this procrastination habit of not doing what needs to be done to achieve what you ultimately want. You want it. You told yourself you want it. You're like, oh, boy, I'd really like to do that. I'd really like to have that done. I'd really like to finish that project. I'd really like to to take this whatever to the next level, whatever it is, but you have this very strong procrastination habit that will help you to think of different ideas why it doesn't really have to be done today. I could do this instead. And so you think of something else that you might find easier to do, you might find is more comfortable for you to do, opposed to maybe some sort of a step or an action that you might be needing to take to get to that next place that is out of your comfort zone, or that is scary, or just something that is going to be burdensome or a pain in the ass, or pardon my French, but whatever excuses you'll come up with there to talk yourself out of the fact that I don't really have to do that today. I want that, but you know what? I'll get it. It'll be a someday I'll get it. I like that someday I'll John brought up the other day, but someday I'll get that because all I got to do is this, but I don't have to do it today. So that's a not doing habit that's very, very powerful in killing your progress towards making success at anything, at life, at business, at your relationships, at your family. I mean, whatever it is that you're looking to progress at, to make steps forward in, not doing habits are what are preventing you from getting what you want out of this life. So we talked about the process of manifestation being, and I'm just going to throw this out there so you guys understand where these not doing habits come from, and that is that your thoughts, in other words, how you think about things, lead to your feelings, and your thoughts and your feeling, and which is how you feel about things, right? So your thoughts and your feelings, first of all, what you think and how you think, combined with what you're feeling, how those thoughts make you feel, those two things create your beliefs, create your subconscious mind, and create the thought processes that you put into your head that you talk yourself in or out of doing these things. And those two things combined are what's going to create whatever action it is you take, or whatever action or whatever inaction it is that you choose to take. And of course, the action that you take is what's going to produce your results. So the process of manifestation is your thoughts lead to your feelings, which I like to throw in, combined together create your actions that produce your results. So the whole idea here is that your not doing habits, your procrastination habits or whatever, all originate from your thoughts and the way you feel about the way you think. So your thoughts and your feelings, that's where it all comes from. And obviously, when you feel and think that something is going to be a pain in the butt, or it's going to be, maybe embarrassing, or people might think that you're an idiot for doing it, or whatever it is that you think that could somehow produce this imaginary negativity upon you, is what's going to create your not doing habit and prevent you from getting success. So it all starts with your thoughts and feelings. And I'm sure John's got a word about this, so I want to throw it back over to him real quick.
Absolutely. I've got 100 thoughts and feelings about this. And my number one thought is I love Freedom Fridays because I love discussing this thing, and I love coming here really with no outline and just seeing where our mind and our ideas take us. Now, the thing that Paul brought up there in the beginning about that, people think of habits as things that they regularly do, but it's actually a habit is also a habit of not doing things that you should be doing and justifying the reasons you're not doing things. Like Paul said there, it's like there's certain things that you need to be doing every day, and one thing that gets people bogged down is procrastination. But what makes procrastination so easy in people's lives is this word called justification. And they put something off, they put off doing something they need to do, really because it's uncomfortable for them. But they'll think of a million reasons why they can't get to it at that moment, or get to it that day, or the following day, or that week, or that month, or that year, and they end up on someday I'll, which is someday I'll do this. And really it comes down to procrastination. And my feeling is we tend to procrastinate the difficult things, and this is a habit because it's out of our comfort zones. And one thing that I was thinking about the whole time as you were talking there, Paul, was this concept that energy is everything, and momentum. It takes energy to put an object into motion. And what is the scientific law? An object in motion tends to stay in motion. Well, if an object is inanimate, it'll tend to stay inanimate unless something propels it forward. And the reason I bring this concept up about energy is everything, because when Paul was talking about procrastination and the habit of not doing, he mentioned that people go, I really want to do this, right? I want to get this done, but I don't have time right now. I want to get this done, all right? I need to do this. You know what? We've got to realize that words themselves are forms of energy, and there's weak words and there's powerful words. And I don't like the word want, to tell you the truth. It's kind of a weak word. Like, you either want something or you will get something. So one of the ways, and this is just a little tip to kind of break the habit of procrastination, is if it's something that you know instinctively that you need to do in order to be successful, don't say, oh, I want to get to this and someday I'll. It's like, no, I will do this and I'll do it today. Just change the way you word the phrases of things that need to get done, and don't use words like want. Use words like I will. And rather than say, someday I'll get to that, actually set a measurable time limit on it. Say, I'll get to that today. I will get to that tomorrow. If legitimately there's a reason why you can't get to it today. I just wanted to throw in that those are the thoughts that I was having while you were talking about what you were talking about, Paul, is that, words are powerful, and be careful on how you phrase and word and think about things, because you want to use words and thoughts of power. And that also will play into the process of manifestation, as Paul talked about, because your thoughts lead to feelings, lead to actions. Realize that the reason you procrastinate is probably because you're procrastinating things that are out of your comfort zone, and you're justifying the procrastination with nothing but lame excuses. And really, you got to get out there and just do it and get in the habit of doing it, and realize that that not doing things and procrastinating things, although those aren't actions, those are also habits, just habits of not doing. So that's kind of my thought on where you were at, Paul.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about here, is the fact that words are powerful, and what you tell yourself, whether the words are coming out of your mouth or whether you're just thinking them in your mind, they are powerful. Thoughts are things, and words are things. Words are powerful things, and using words like John says, like want, and what was the other one you said, John?
Like maybe, people say, I'll try, or
yeah,
someday I'll do this.
Someday, I want, or someday I will, or the big one, I'll try. That's probably the biggest one of all, is when you say you'll try, you may as well just say you ain't going to do it. Because you know what? If you're going to try to do something, it's not going to happen. You're either going to do it or you're not going to do it, which comes right back around to the habits. You're either doing habits or not doing habits. So, I mean, are you trying to drive to work right now? John, are you trying to drive where you're going, or are you actually driving to where you're going right now? I mean, if you get in your car and you try to drive to work, you might end up at the zoo, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? But, you get it, you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to drive to work. Boom. And you get in the car and you drive to work. A doing habit of getting it done. And that's the kind of way that you have to look at it. And the whole thing that John just put out there was just like, really think about this. I mean, everything that you put out there that you do or don't do, where does it come from? It comes from right here. It's all you. And when people, like he used a couple of terms in there about blaming and complaining and justifying. And when you are blaming and you are complaining and you are justifying your thought, your actions, that is you alone thinking your way out of something, because that's the easy way out. It's so much easier to think of why I don't have to do this, why I shouldn't do this, why I can do something different, why all of these different things than there is to think about how I'm going to do this and what is it going to take to get this done. You know, there's so much power in taking control of your own mind, like the Napoleon Hill prayer that we do every day. Taking control of your own mind and thinking in a different way, not letting your mind simply just run off with, oh, that's okay, you don't have to do that. Yeah, that's something that will get done tomorrow. Don't worry about it. And changing those thoughts to the fact of, hey, all right, you don't want to do it tomorrow. That's okay. I get it. But I would like to see this specific result by day after tomorrow. So if I put it off tomorrow, by tomorrow. So if I put this off until tomorrow, I'm not going to see that result until the day after tomorrow. So you know what? I'm going to do it right now because it needs to be done right now. Like John was talking about, setting time frames. If you have something that you desire, which is much better than want, if you have something that you desire, then set a time frame for it. One of the most powerful things you can do to actually achieving what you want is to write it out and create goals and look at them every day, because your thoughts, if you just run around doing the things that you think you need to do and the things that you think you want to do and all that sort of stuff, that's changing every freaking minute, and you're sending out messages like, mixed messages to the universe saying, oh, this and 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 this, and the universe just goes, well, when you figure it out, let me know and we'll help you out. So you really need to focus upon what it is that you really want, and the best way to do that, of course, is writing them down in goals and writing things, writing your end result, as we talked about on our real estate hangout. We put together a success plan where you go out into the future and put together what you want, and then you reverse engineer it and work your way backwards through segments of time to break it down as to, okay, what do I need to do as soon as I put the period on this last sentence to start working towards what I want. And you have to stay focused. And when you have it written down and you can look at it every day and you can read it every day, that's going to help you to keep your focus upon what you really want and not be distracted by the 10 gazillion and 42 other things that are attacking us from every angle of life each and every day that distract our thoughts. So that's a very powerful tool you can use to help you break through the habits of not doing and the procrastination habits, is by having an actual outline where you can just go, okay, well, yesterday I did this, good, check. Today I got to do this. Boom, let's go do it. And you're on your way. Instead of having to think about, well, that was what I wanted, and yesterday I did that, and boy, it was a pain. It was a hard thing to do. I really didn't like doing it. And the next thing I'm supposed to do is this, and it doesn't sound like very much fun. So instead, I think I'll turn on the TV and think about something else. If you got it written down and you look at it and you go, you know what? Wow, I did achieve that yesterday. It was hard, but you know what? That's one thing off the list, and now I got the next thing to do, and I'm one step closer to where I want to get. And you start seeing progress. Powerful stuff. John, why don't you finish us up and take us home?
Oh, you know what? There's only one thing I would differ on with you on that, Paul, and that is to eliminate the word hard from your vocabulary, because words are powerful, words are thing, and replace that with a challenge, because most people want to overcome challenges, but they'll give in to not doing things that are too difficult and too hard. So if you it's called positive rephrasing, and that's a little bit basically of what we talked about here today with, changing your words from, I'll try to do that too. I'll do that. I want that too. I will have that. Changing your words to words that have more power and energy and a higher frequency that resonates behind the words. And you know what? Words like hard and too difficult, they're self-defeating words. They're demotivators, if you will. But if you replace that and you look at, as Paul said, your goals that you have written down, and you say, wow, I did accomplish that yesterday, and boy, that was a challenge. I overcame a challenge yesterday. That positive rephrasing is so powerful in the human mind and in your mind and yourself, to start looking at things that are difficult and are hard, but looking at them as just challenges, because I believe it's a natural instinct or a natural tendency of an individual to want to persevere and overcome a challenge. So think about that. Positive rephrasing. Look at the words that you're using daily when it comes to things. And are you approaching things from a point of weakness, or are you approaching things in your thoughts and in your words from a point of power? And I think start looking at all the stuff you would normally look at as too difficult or too hard, and I can't do that. That's hard. I can't do that. So go, I can do that. I just have to overcome a challenge. Think about it in that frame of mind and in that context, and I think you'll see a big difference on your results. So with that being said, unless Paul wants to throw something in, do you want me to just go with, I will end it with the prayer that goes, "O universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom." And that's what we talked about here today is wisdom, things that will help you be wise in utilizing the riches already given to me at birth through the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends I may desire.
Yep. What do we call people who overcome challenges? We call them winners, and you want to be a winner. So